This, of course, is your number one breakfast show. It's K24 this morning. We're looking at the big stories of the day. Already your views coming in at K24 TV. You can also WhatsApp us. The WhatsApp number is scrolling at the bottom of your screen. Daniel Jamuhuri is saying, K24 this morning, watching the show from Kahawa West. Let us discuss the real issues of the day. Siasa tuweke kando. Engineer Boniface Kidiga, K24 this morning, tuned in from Kakamega County, Matete Sub-County. Michael Luda as well, also watching from Njoro Sub-County. Philip McLeod says, good morning there. We also have, very quickly, where is that? Kim TT is saying, listening to the show, this is going to be the gospel according to Saint Bichachi. Okay, so already gotten his sainthood. Keep those tweets coming in. You can also WhatsApp us. As a matter of fact, you actually have some WhatsApp messages. Let's look at them real quick. BBI has lost its agenda by falling into DP Ruto's trap. BBI is a political battle between Raila versus DP Ruto. Also, can you please tell my MP Oda to get me a copy? Okay, he's here. I'm sure he'll address that as well. But also, as we get back to my panel, you've had a rally in your area, Honorable Oda, as you get that person his copy. But some people are saying that every time they watch these rallies, they feel like the political class are disconnected with what they're feeling on the ground. Because when they talk, they're talking about jobs, they're talking about employment. These are the issues they talk about. But one key thing that came out, and one of the biggest takeouts when it was in your area, was that the PM should be Matiang'i. This is what we're looking for. We want to make sure certain thieves aren't allowed into office. And it became almost a political might, a show of might, and not actually dealing with Wanjiko's issues, Honorable Oda.
One, you can't control. When you give a politician a mic, you can't control what they're going to say on that stage or on that platform or before the audience. Two, let politicians be politicians. We are there, we are leaders. As much as there will be the little side shows that you see, there are also main points that you see. Unfortunately, when media goes out there, they will want to pick the more negative side and leave the few good things that politicians say. And
where the good things feel?
No, let me tell you. We all agree that the Constitution 2010 was passed and it was almost 80% done and 20% was not done. We keep talking about the governance structure of this country. For example, this issue of winner take it all after every election and all the electoral injustices and the violence and everything, every 5 years, this circle is annoying. So we also think as politicians, only that politicians, we don't put it there, Mark Bichachi will put it or my sister will put it. You know, they put it out there so seriously, like people are going to die the next minute. While as politicians, we try the easy way because you're handling the masses. Now you can't talk, the way Bichachi is talking, cannot talk to the masses like that. You have to find your own. Unfortunately, in our process of putting all our satires and metaphors, when you are talking, you guys pick the metaphors and the satires and metaphors and put them on the newspapers. Now, I want to say that the BBI process is actually well on course, and we must also agree that that's why we have the expert side of it. Now, coming to the issue of copies and all that. Now, the document that is out there, fine, it's fairly a good document. But that's why we have the experts working around the clock to put up a more readable, a more concrete document out there. What you have is something subject for discussion. But now, here we are talking about a process of constitution making, a process that will be there for a lifetime. Mm-hmm. That's why these technocrats behind here are working on it as we do a political side of it. So I will tell Bichache, my sister, you know, these are very brilliant brains, that in a few months, after we have a more refined document, before people go for referendum, people will have more than 3-4 months to get the document and read it, and we try and fix what we can, then you go for the referendum. Mm. So I think we are still in the early stages, though we are going so fast, because of time and the next general election is coming, and a few things must be fixed in this document. So as a politician, I was in Kisii. I didn't hear about somebody talking about Matiang'i being a PM. Mm-hmm. I didn't hear anybody say Raila will be the president or who will be what and what. I mean, people are just speculating. And that is why I am so concerned about this other team that was in Naivasha, because all this propaganda, if you look at it, it's being generated from their side.
Okay, I'll just come to Mark very quickly on this one, because at least you followed a couple of the rallies that we've had so far. From what Honorable Oda is saying in terms of what has happened on the particular podiums that we've seen, and now the steering committee that has been put in place, What's your biggest takeout from the rallies that we've seen that will impact Wanjiku? Because like I said, and I put it to him, it seems like it's their affair. We want a regional government. You're talking about a PM, but nobody has come to say we have a massive unemployment issue, and this is what we'll talk about today. What's your take from the rallies we've seen?
You know, the truth is that the rallies will remain to be rallies. Order is correct. There is no way Wanjiku is going to get a voice when there are 10,000 people gathered. It's not going to happen. At the end of the day, what the rallies will do is what the rallies were meant to do. Two things. Number one, create a lot of popularity around BBI, and number two, create a lot of popularity and notoriety for politicians and give them an opportunity to own the BBI process. That's what it's about. It has nothing really to do with Wanjiku's thoughts and things like that. In as much as, and I'm not precluding, that there are very serious declarations and very serious meetings that happen before the rallies, right? That's very important. But the rally itself is a political instrument. It is a tool for popularization. It will always be. And therefore, is the BBI report becoming more popular? Yes, it is. Even if people are saying, oh, that document is not for us, or they're arguing and saying we've not read it, the fact that they're asking those questions means that the rallies are doing exactly what is required to be done, which is the popularization of that particular document. Make no mistake that printing the document is not going to satiate Kenyan curiosity, because Kenyans will not read it. They want to have it, but they'll not read it. And it's their right to have it. Let me reiterate. They need to have it. But the truth of the matter is this. The rallies, as they continue, will be a popularity contest. And the takeout will always be which politician has won and how is BBI moving forward, not in terms of ideas, but in terms of momentum.
Honorable Joshua, does Wanjiku have any input in this particular document? Because I want to take you back to when Senator Orengo first said that we're going to have a referendum in June. Senator Murkomen came out and said, no, we should do this in December. And the question was, okay, fine, we hadn't spoken about a referendum at all. Why are we having such certainty? Fast forward to Mombasa, and now it seems like it's definite, a referendum will happen. The only question is when. Has this already been put in place, and the call for Wanjiku's input is just a mere show?
Okay, thank you. Jeff, I want to say that as you have seen from the rallies we are holding around the country, I think these rallies are very important, because this is whereby because you know, the people we lead, if you go to, for example, in my constituency, you get that 80% of the people, they're asking me, they want to hear what the MP is saying. They want to hear what the leaders are saying. They want to hear what Kalonzo is saying. And you know, when we are going around regionally, we are involving Wanjiku, and we want them to listen and give their views before we hold rallies. Like now, this coming Saturday, we are heading to Kitui. And on Friday, we'll have a big public participation, and we rise with our people. We discuss the issue. And these rallies, I'm telling you what we are doing, we are trying also to make the people, our people, understand more about what is BBI. Because there's a lot of lies, speculations going around. I heard someone was saying that after the BBI, now the members of parliament, there will be transition, and the government, and now they will take over again. There will be no election. They will continue for another 7 years. You know, there's a lot of speculation. And I think these rallies are very important, because when we are going around interacting with our people regionally, they give their views. And I'm happy because, like, people from Lower Eastern, we are meeting in groups, giving our views, giving our inputs, together with our people. And it is very important. So I think doing the rallies and trying to popularize the document and trying to talk to our people, I think it will help, because it also, they will also feel that they are involved in making, changing our constitution. And they remember, we all agree that our constitution, 2010 constitution, 80% is okay, but 20%. Then we cannot keep on talking of 20% is not good. 20%, this is the time, as the time has come. And I think the other people on the other side of Tanga team, I don't know whether they are with us or not. Because you cannot say that you have a parallel party. That parallel rallies. That means that you are against. It's like showing that you are against of what the government is doing. And I think this is the time, as Kenyans, we need to think soberly, come together, discuss issue. because we need a lasting solution. We need a document which will help Kenyans and which the Wanjiku will benefit.
Right. Joy, I'll ask you this on the timing of the referendum, because it seems like it is definitely going to happen. Why the urgency now? There had been talk from the CIOC that we could have this at the election and have that as the 7th ballot therein, and kill two birds essentially with one stone. Saves on time, saves on politicking, and we're at a situation where we should save every shilling that we get. Why do we have to do it this year?
It's one of those things that makes you understand that when the rubber meets the road, let me stick to that, because the other choice phrase is not good for TV. But when the rubber meets the road, then people reveal what they really wanted. I've been looking through the papers today, and you see comments like, the people say that they really want a powerful prime minister to share power with the president. And others say that we want regional governments because we want to strengthen devolution. And the only way to strengthen devolution is to have a regional government that is between the national government and the county government. When we were at Bomas, one of the things that was supposed to come forth is that this was supposed to be a document that brought Kenyans together. And when I read the report, I was like, this actually looks like it is a compromise document. It was highlighting the problems that Kenyans have and the solutions to the same. But when the politicians hijack the process and start talking and behave as if what they're saying is what Kenyans are saying, then there is a problem. Why do I say that? Remember just a few months ago, we were talking about Punguza Mzigo. The politicians, again, are the ones who torpedoed that process, and it did not go on, primarily because the politicians do not let it go on. But the idea behind Punguza Mzigo gained a lot of traction with the common mananchi. Why? It's because Kenyans are not seeing money in their pockets. They're not seeing their businesses thrive. Contrary, they're seeing their businesses going down. The normal mananchi is feeling the heavy yoke of an economic situation that is less than favorable. The president himself has responded recently by introducing a few stimulus packages that would try and jumpstart the economy. So there is that agreement that right now our economy is not doing very well. So when you hear somebody bringing a discussion, insisting that there's going to be a referendum of a document one that is still a task force report, we are waiting for it to even be adopted by anything that can give it wings. Is it parliament? Is it government? Will it become a sessional paper? Will it become a bill? What will it become? We don't even know what it's going to look like. Honorable Oda says we are still fine-tuning the real document, meaning even what we're discussing now is not what we are going to go with. So we still have to wait for that to come to play. Over and above that, we do not have a referendum law in Kenya. We don't have anything that governs how we are going to do a referendum. We have a deadline for the next BBI report to come out by June 2020. 1 month later, Senator Orengo has assured us that in 1 month we will have a referendum. You know, when you look at it, you wonder, how will we make this work? And that's why your question comes to bear. We understand where this country is. We see some things in BBI that can actually be a rescue for us. But there are some things that are looking like minefields. Like if you talk about the issue of cost, you convince Kenyans that we have no money to even print copies for you guys to read this report. But yet we've got money to run around in rallies, and we'll have money to actually do a referendum. The politicians have to get to a place where they are more convincing to us as Kenyans, because I have said it before and I will repeat it. The Kenyan voter is becoming more sophisticated. There's a time when people followed you merely out of loyalty. You are our leader, so we follow you. Now you're leading a generation where people question and want to find out, does this really make sense? Right. And anytime you do voice box with going around the country with your reporters, I'm sure you get that feedback from Kenyans. They make some very strong points. If I was the leaders, I would take the time to say, look, us guys have got an opportunity to do something big. Can we actually deliver this for Kenyans? And it's not just, it's a symbiotic relationship, because as Mark said, if the Kenyan ends up getting their pound of flesh, we can let the politicians get away with a little bit of this and that. Right. But if it comes to a place where you realize the sole focus is on creating extra layers so that second-term governors have somewhere to stand, so that those who feel like they're not successful here have got somewhere to... If it only looks like this is all about the leaders, guess what? I have said it before and I will repeat it, because I do not fear contradiction. The same embarrassment the government suffered with the orange banana referendum is what is awaiting this particular referendum if there's nothing in it to ease the burden of the common mwananchi.
Honorable Odo, let me ask you that as well. Why this urgency, it seems, with the referendum? It has to be done now. There are very many options, but it seems like it has to be done this year. Why not?
Now, let me tell you, Jeff, wherever there is a goodwill, always take advantage of that goodwill and change what you can change. Now, when you start talking about having an election and a referendum at the same time, I doubt if the same goodwill that is there now, from the mwananchi to the top leaders and top organs of this country, will be there. Now, I don't know why Kenyans have this narrative that you see we don't have money to do this or that. Let me tell you.
The president has said it, Honorable Oda. The country doesn't have money.
No, let me tell you. He has said that the country doesn't have money. But this is a generational problem that must be fixed. Why can't we sacrifice? Why can't we sacrifice as a country and say, okay, fine, we don't have money. But if a referendum will cost us 10 billion Kenyan money to put it out there, let's do it. Because after all, one person is arrested. I saw it on print media and national tele, that there are people, or rather individuals that were arrested for having not paid tax worth 18 billion, another almost 60 billion. I mean, this money, people steal money in this country. But if the president is putting up the measures that he's putting out there in place to curb corruption, and so that you can have money, what is the problem, Jeff? I mean, you have had countries, developed countries, America, Britain, say all of them, Germany. They've changed their constitutions, some of them even in 6 months. So what's the problem? Kenyans keep crying all the time, we don't have money, we don't want to go for referendum, we want to put in 2022, it will be a different ball game altogether, my friend. It will be about power. And so we don't want the kind of things we saw in 2017. Jeff. I mean, that's what we don't want in this country. And that's what we are trying to address. Because if you say we go 2022 without a new constitution, Jeff, you're only saying that you're going to have mandamano, stone throwing, we are going to lose again almost 200 billion.
Does the referendum fix all of that, Honorable Oda?
Yeah, it will fix because one, Jeff, we are trying to fight something here, winner takes it all. And you see all these people crying here that, oh, we don't have money, we don't have what. Do they know that when you have an election that is acrimonious, in 1 year only, we lose over 200 billion Kenyan money? Do we need to lose that money?
But some people might say that goes back to the politicians.
No, it doesn't go back to the politicians because it doesn't go back to the politicians because investors will not come to this country because there's tension. How does that
by the politicians again?
Wait a minute. How does that money get into my pocket and it's held out there? We will not have businesses going on. How does that get into my pocket and it's held out there? What we are saying that as a country, we cannot compare ourselves to America or Singapore or where, because the way this country is structured, or rather our colonial masters structured us, this problem we are dealing with, a problem that was brought in by our colonial masters, by the way. And so as a country, we cannot go and pick them back and come and fix this problem. We have to deal with it as 44 tribes of this republic and say, fine, instead of winner take it all, let's have it this way so that you have peace in this country. Okay. And lastly, I want to dispute something. You see, some of these headlines here, to me, I find them ambiguous because if you are a reporter or a presenter or something, or an editor, I mean, find your own facts, then write here. Because the report I have, I was not in Naivasha, but you know very well that we were following that event. When somebody talks of 173 MPs, why were these 173 MPs? Those people are 54 members of parliament. So let's not use headlines here to spread propaganda and rumors that there were 173. Well, you know, all of us know, and I can tell you, Jeff, just counting from the 40 you're seeing here, not even from the 40, even the people who were there themselves, they know they were only 54 members of parliament. So they're actually charting their own course, charting their own, and they're heading nowhere. And Jeff, let me put it out so clearly. These people started by saying they don't believe in handshake. We've gone through handshake. They said, oh, BBI is a waste of all. This thing will die. It didn't die. They came and say, oh, there'll be no a change of governance structure. Now they have agreed. Oh, there will be no referendum. Now they have agreed. There will be no rallies. Now they are putting out their own. These are desperate efforts, and this bunch of people and members of parliament cannot be allowed to continue misleading Kenyans and wasting more money on this.
Okay, Honorable, before I come to you, Honorable Joshua, Mark just has a quick rejoinder, then I get to Joshua's point.
Yes, let's remember two things. Number one, if you go and Google Kenya GDP growth, you will notice 2007 drop in GDP, 2013 drop in GDP growth, 2017 drop in GDP growth. Yeah, so and that drop, by the way, of 2-3 percentage points is huge for our economy. So is there a problem that needs to be fixed around how we do elections? Definitely there is. You know, Kenyans, because of our goldfish memory, we go around a corner and forget what we just saw. If you remember 2017, after the Supreme Court annulled the first election of President Uhuru Kenyatta, how many Kenyans, including politicians, were begging for Raila and Uhuru to sit down? They were begging, literally. This country was in tears begging for it. The problem that we have is we do not realize the urgency and the importance of a moment called now. Kenyans do not connect how we behave today is going to thoroughly affect us in 2022. We don't connect it. So what do? We start playing around with the opportunities that God gives us to sort out our messes. And then we turn it political. The truth of the matter is this, that if this country does not remedy itself, 2007, my friend, is just 2 seconds ago in terms of the history of mankind. If Kenya does not deal with its wounds and take this handshake seriously, and I know people will say, oh, now he's joined Raila, or now he's looking for a job, but I'm telling you for free. If we don't deal with it, listen, BBI, there's no election in sight. Look at how we're already insulting each other on social media. Look at how much we hate each other. 2022 is going to come, and trust you me, you will have a problem moving from Bungoma to Nakuru, because in those 3 counties, there'll be war. You wait and see.
Honorable Joshua.
Okay, thank you. I wanted to add what my colleague was saying about how this BBI will fix the issues we have in our country. And I wanted to say, as Fred was said, that remember 2007, what happened. And 2013, it repeats itself. Now 2017, we have the same problem. We cannot keep on postponing problems day after the other. And I like what Honorable Raila and the President did through the handshake, because now this BBI, and the reason why I'm happy, because it is not with all us politicians. We are taking to we are going around the country. And the time to fix our problem is now, not tomorrow. Right now, you are asking, why is it that there is urgency for this year to have a referendum? For one, we know we are heading to 2022. And we cannot combine election and a referendum. So now there's a time for this year to have a referendum. Then 2022, we had an election. So in that difference, I can tell you that it will be enough for Kenyans to prepare and have a new constitution. So it is important to have it now, not tomorrow. Okay. And again, we don't need to keep on saying that there is war after election. There is war after election. Why can we fix it once and for all? As the time has come.
Okay, and of course, I'll be talking about plenty more on that. A couple of tweets we have right here. Kirinyaga Finest saying, then we'll have another task force to discuss the findings of this task force, or how does this particular story end? Of course, him alluding to the steering committee that has been put in place. Where does that go? We also have another tweet coming in. Musa Orina Okengo saying, where will the government get time to read this particular issue? Where will the citizens also get to read this particular report when they are so engaged in raising funds to pay China? Madeni ndio shida zetu, even before all of the politics of the day ni pesa. Okay, keep those tweets coming in. We have a couple of WhatsApp messages we can look at before we get to our break real quick. There we have it. The BBI issue is now pure political. If everyone is for the BBI, then I don't see the need of rallies. They need to prepare more copies for Kenyans to read and analyze it. That's what they see right there. Let's focus on the Big Four agenda. BBI was not part of Big Four agenda from Moy's Bridge Kwenet. Hii BBI ni manufaa ya wachache tu. That's what they feel on that particular one. Do you have another WhatsApp message? Keep them coming in. You can get us, of course, at K24 TV on Twitter. You can also get us on SMS 21222. We are back after the break. Even as we look at more of your messages right there, a man who seems to be under siege from public perception. Front page of the Daily Nation. Tighter water wars. Farmer from Sugoi, this alluding to DP Ruto, has grabbed all our water, the county claims, and they want a court order given to them so they can access his farm. What's going on in this particular issue? We discussed this and plenty more after the break.